I spent about 6 months living in the Rocky Mountains during the COVID-19 crisis. I spent 3 months in Wallace, Idaho. I spent 2 months in Missoula, Montana, a month in Helena, and then there were a few local towns that even smaller towns that I spent time in for a few days here and there. Lincoln, Montana, and Kellogg, Idaho, among others. And I look forward to going back. It looks like we may have a few more weeks where all my work is remote. I have a few students here, and I'm a private tutor, and I have a couple students here that I've been working with over the last few weeks, and those connections have been very important to me. So that's why I've been in Seattle for a few weeks now. But I hope to spend some more time in the Rockies again, especially back in Wallace again. I really got a good connection with that town. So I thought I'd make a video complaining about little details in Seattle that I think could be better if people just had a more open mind. My biggest complaint with Seattle is how difficult it is to be single here and not be judged for it. So during the pandemic, or more accurately, during the reopening, every time I go to a restaurant, I recently also took up bowling. Every time I go to the bowling alley as a single guy, I seem to have to do a lot of explaining sometimes. People are curious about why I would go out alone. They don't say it that way, obviously. People give me dirty scares. Or, because Seattle is full of homosexuals, I get chased around by homosexuals. Never seem to have that problem in the Rocky Mountains. People in Seattle are also very noisy at times. I had a problem the other day. Last Sunday, I was at a shopping mall. I was just trying to keep to myself. I was trying to fantasize about going back to the Rockies and going to some other vacation destinations when this guy just loudly intrudes on my space. He wanted to borrow a chair at the table I was sitting at. I was clearly not in the mood to talk to him, and he didn't see that. See, this would never happen in the Rockies, right? People, they'll either just take the chair and worry about you later if you're not responding to them. They'll get a sense that you're in your own space, right? And I mean, not that it was a good idea for me to be fantasizing, right? I should probably be mingling with others, but I don't have the mood here in Seattle, precisely because of all the prejudice that goes on. I really liked how it was so easy to be happily single in Wallace, Idaho. I never had to deal with anybody who chased me around, who make jokes about it, who want to discuss about it. See, when I Google things like what's the best city to be single in, usually the results are geared toward what's the best city to meet somebody in. Best city for single men, best city for single women, best city for single gay people. And no, that's not my goal. Best place to be permanently single, be happily single, or solosexual maybe, right? Unfortunately, Google search doesn't seem to produce very good results for that. I think if there was a best city to be single, I would say Wallace, Idaho would be the place. But that's out of the cities I've been in, obviously. If you know another place, feel free to leave a comment. Before COVID-19, I used to love to play backgammon at a club. Unfortunately, here in Seattle, or actually, I also lived in New York, I had the same problem there. People like to bet a lot of money on the games. And not that I'm against it, but a lot of times it's a little bit outside of my budget. And obviously, we haven't been able to do any of that anyway because of COVID-19. But it was out of my budget to begin with. I didn't get to do it very often, to my disappointment, because I like playing backgammon. I came up with an idea, and I proposed it to the people I play backgammon with, that maybe I could, I can't bet a lot of money on it, obviously, but maybe if I programmed the world's strongest backgammon computer program, maybe we could see how well it does against all the other players. Because part of the reason they like to bet money is that some of these people have been playing backgammon for a long, long time, right? And to them, it's almost like a career. and they want strong players, right? They want to discourage the not so strong players who just want to socialize, people like myself, right? And so I wonder if I could, if they wanted to compete against the computer program, obviously with some adjustments, right? Because most computers are well ahead of humans in terms of backgammon, and nobody seems to have an interest in that, right? They know they're not going to do nearly as well. They're just there to hustle money. See, in Wallace, Idaho, I didn't seem to get that kind of sentiment, right? People actually like social events. They didn't just go out to make money all the time, right? The people who are playing backgammon at the clubs, they obviously have another job, and their backgammon is just a side gig for them, and they're always thinking about ways to edge out a few bucks here and there, right? It's always on their mind for some reason. I didn't seem to get that sentiment when I was living in the Rocky Mountains.